On October 25, 1917, Vladimir Lenin, the leader of the Bolshevik faction of the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party, addressed a crowd of Bolshevik supporters in Petrograd, now St. Petersburg, and declared the start of the Bolshevik Revolution. Standing on the balcony of the Smolny Institute, Lenin proclaimed the overthrow of the provisional government and the establishment of a new socialist government. He called for workers and parents to take power into their own hands and urged the Red Guard, a paramilitary organization loyal to the Bolsheviks, to prepare for the defense of the revolution. Lenin's declaration was met with cheers from the crowd, and the Bolsheviks soon gained control over Petrograd and other key cities. The ripple effects of this event changed the world we live in today like not many other historical events, ranging from the massive famines which killed dozens of millions of people, to how World War II took shape, to the Cold War and all of the stuff that came directly and indirectly out of it, like the internet, which led to the production of the video you are watching now, came a result of it. The Bolshevik Revolution was primarily intellectually based on the theories of one man, Karl Marx, so in order to better understand the world we live in, I think it's pretty fair to say that a good place to start is by understanding Karl Marx.
Hey, before we start the video, I want to say a couple of things. First of all, this is part of 5-video series, so make sure you review the other videos on the series about the economists that change the way we see the world. Also, make sure to like this channel, subscribe, click on the notification button, share, all of that. That would be very helpful for me. Now back to the video.
Marx was of Jewish ethnic origins. However, his father converted to Christianity in order to be a lawyer, and Marx himself had very bigoted anti-Semitic views. Karl Marx excelled at his studies in law and philosophy at the University of Bonn, eventually entering the University of Berlin, where he got his philosophy doctorate. He also became involved in radical political movements, and began to develop his own ideas about the role of the state in the economy and society. Because of his radical views, he wasn't allowed to work as a professor in the university, so he began to work as a journalist and a writer, producing a number of influential works in politics and economics. During his lifetime, Karl Marx wrote and published no less than at least 15 complete multi-volume books, along with numerous pamphlets, articles, and essays. Two of his most famous works are the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital. In these works, Marx makes two major claims on the inherent corrupt and exploitive nature of a capitalist economy. The first claim is his theory of dialectical materialism, which is his claim that history of society is driven by struggle between different economic classes, with each class trying to advance its own interests. This struggle is expressed in the form of a class struggle, where the ruling class, the bourgeoisie, seeks to maintain its power and privileges, while the working class, the proletariat, seeks to overthrow the ruling class and establish a new social order. His second claim is his theory of value. According to Marx, value is determined objectively by the amount of labor is put into something. For example, if it takes 10 hours to produce a shirt in a particular economy, and the prevailing wage rate for a skilled worker is 20 per hour, the objective value of the shirt should be 200, regardless of how much the buyer or seller may personally value the shirt. These two theories sort of synthesize and form a coherent view, because the ruling class, the bourgeoisie, needs to exploit and not pay the workers the full wages they deserve in order to get profits. What did Karl Marx believe that the working class should do about it? Conduct a worldwide revolution, of course! Taking over the means of production, which are the physical and non-human resources and inputs that are used to produce goods and services in an economy, like land, natural resources, factories, machinery, tools, and other forms of physical capital, and establish a collective ownership over them, eliminating class exploitation. Not only did Karl Marx believe that workers should conduct this revolution, he also believed that it was inevitable, and that the inherent flaws of capitalism will make it eventually collapse.
So was Karl Marx right? Well, probably not.
First of all, Karl Marx's theory is fundamentally based on the claim that value objectively comes from the cost of labor, something which is seen as false by almost all economists, since it ignores other factors, such as supply and demand, technology, and scarcity. Also, it assumes that businessmen and entrepreneurs just sit there and do nothing except for exploiting workers for profit. However, that's just false. Entrepreneurs usually take an immense amount of risk, creativity, and hard work in order to make the businesses in which workers are employed in successful and profitable. Apart from that, Karl Marx believed that human history is fundamentally driven by economic class struggle. Kinda ignores all other things that drive human history and society, such as geography, climate, technology, tribalism, nationalism, religion, and countless of other things. Karl Marx died in London in 1883 at the age of 64. Just like Adam Smith, which we talked about in the previous video, the amount of influence Karl Marx had on world history is profound. However, most of it, unfortunately, doesn't seem to be for the good of humanity. In fact, some of the worst mass murdering regimes in history, which are responsible for the death of dozens of millions of people, such as the Soviet Union and China under Mao Zedong, were inspired by him.